You're at a volleyball game and Elma is down by 1. The ball gets served over to our side, we bump it, set it, and boom. The hit gets down and we get the point. Now, how do you record this in a record book? Well, today, that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do. Keeping Book keeps all the stacks all together, like the points and the subbing. So if there's ever any confusion on the court or on the bench, everything is written right there down in the book. I do book for the JV volleyball team, so I have a lot of practice. Keeping book can be tricky, but if you know how to do it, it can be a really helpful tool in the game of volleyball. The first thing you need to know about doing book is the layout. This is a blank sheet of the book. Over here is where you'll fill in the 6 players that are on the court at that time. You'll put their team names and vice versa on each side. You would then continue to fill in the points down here and do subs in inner here and down here. Now that you know what a book looks like, let's fill it all in. Let's do points now. Say that the Garber is at 11 and Elma has 10. Garber serves it over but ends up losing their points. To indicate that Garber no longer has their serve and Elma now just gained that point, we would put a dash. We would find where they last gained their last point, which is right here, and go 1 spot over and put a dash. Now for Elma. To show that Elma is now gaining a point, we need to find where they last ended their point. We would then drop down to the next player, because in the game of volleyball, a server is not allowed to serve twice in a row. So we would find where they ended, drop down, and put their next point. So now they would be at 11. Now that you know how to do points, let's learn how to do subbing. Subbing can be really tricky to follow during the game of volleyball. But in the game, each player is allowed to sub in and out for anyone at all times of the game. To show that, we would find whoever is coming in at the game and find them on the roster. So say that 11 is going to come out, and number 6 would be going in for them. So we would find number 11 on the lineup and cross it out. We would then put the player that is going in for them right next to it, so number 6. Putting that cross mark through that 11 is showing that number 11 is no longer in the game and 6 is going in. During a game, each team is only allowed a certain amount of subs per game, which is 18. So to make sure each team is not going over their certain amount of subs, we need to keep track. So every time something like this happens, you need to keep track. So you would find the bottom where it says substitutions and mark 1 off. Now that you know how to do subbing and points, let's put it all together. So say that the points are 11 and 11. Elma has the ball. They serve it over but end up missing their serve. We have to show that Garber now is gaining their point. So we would find where they got their last point and drop down. We would then put their next point. Now for Elma. To show that they are no longer have the point and they've lost their serve, we would find where they just got their last point and put a dash. That shows that they no longer have it. And because the girl just missed her serve, she's going to get subbed out. So we're going to find the girl that just served and cross her number out. We are then going to put in number 3. We would put a number 3 right next to it to show that number 11's out and number 3's in. But we had to keep track of the subs, so we would go to the bottom and cross out 1. Now, doing book can be tricky, but if you know how to do it, it can be a really helpful tool in the game of volleyball. Now that you know how to do points and subbing and put it all together, if you're ever at a volleyball game and see someone sitting on the bench and writing in something, you now know what they are doing and how to do it.